Welcome, everybody. Thank you so much for joining me back on my channel. My name is Emily Gear. I'm a transformative energy healer and a multi-dimensional channel. And we're going to do your weekly energy report today. I know I'm a couple days late. I'm sorry about that. I know you don't mind, but I appreciate your patience. I'm not really sure what to think about this week yet, so we're going to see what the cards have to say. To be honest, I have had a very, I want to say that it's been a very instructional week in the sense that my day-to-day channeling, the channeling that comes through from my record keepers and from source is coming in very clearly and extremely in the moment, and I'm noticing it because I don't doubt that it comes in very clearly all the time, but I'm human and don't always hear it, at least in the moment. My sort of conscious mind is very good at filtering that stuff out, or developed that tendency to filter things out because of the constant chatter. But this week, the stuff that the good stuff is getting through, and the bad stuff, which is like the brain chatter, the anxiety, the fear, the worry, the negative self-talk, a lot of that I'm catching immediately. So I hope you guys are having the same experience, that the things that you were doing in your life that were holding you back are becoming clearer for you now. And that's kind of how I'm experiencing this week. But let's see what what comes out in the cards, what source has to say about the week ahead. Okay. I'm using it's a little humid in here, so these are all sticking together, unfortunately. Using the Wild Unknown Tarot. I was looking for the Lover's Path Tarot. I have wanted to use that for a little while and I cannot find it. I guess it'll come up when I'm supposed to use it. Okay, so let's get some messages for the collective for this week, please. Messages for the collective for this week. Well, that's way too many, but two of them flipped over inside the deck, so we're going to take those. Okay. There is definitely a balancing that's taking place within each one of us. And the first card that came out here is the Nine of Pentacles. My thing shows everything in like backwards, so I can't quite coordinate my life. Nine of Pentacles. What I'm feeling about that right now is it's like this sense of really getting to know who you are. And I know I've been talking about that at least since the full moon happened in Aquarius roughly a week ago. So a little less than a week ago. I guess it's the 20th today. So I feel like that continues to be the overall energy at the moment, that we're really kind of getting to make contact with that deeper level of who we are, that's like underneath the layers of negative self-talk, underneath the layers of habitual actions, underneath the layers of habitual thoughts, underneath the layers of anxiety, underneath the layers of self-judgment. I'm sorry, my throat is all weird. The next two cards that came out here are the Lovers with the Six of Pentacles. So, okay, like I cannot live life like this. Everything's backwards. Okay. So there is a very, so the changes that are taking place, right, that are really kind of letting you cut through the different layers. I'm remembering that I brought this up many weeks ago. Actually, it might have been around the new moon in Leo, about this diamond white energy that was coming in, that was cutting through like this netting surrounding each one of us. And they're bringing me back to that visualization. because I think that whatever that energy was that I was tapping into at that moment, I think they mentioned the star Polaris actually, and I don't know why, just putting that back out there, that particular energy was coming down, this sort of blue and clear diamond white energy coming and cutting through. I feel that is the kind of energy that's coming in now. Maybe that was talking about this energy that's happening now, because it's assisting us in cutting through like the layers to get down to who we really are. And once you get in there, there's this like jostling of energies within. So if you've been feeling like this level of discomfort or conflict or anything like that keeps coming up, I'm not particularly there, although there were a few days there where it was a little dicey. But if you are noticing it, it's because what's within you is jostling for sort of position to, it's a balance. It's not a dominance thing. It's all about balancing the masculine and feminine is where I'm going with that. And it's because all of these energies, like you're cutting away certain old energies, it's exposing the internal energetic system to this new light, which is just piping in essentially. I'm getting it. I'm just really seeing it piping in and kind of setting things right. You know how a lot of you, a good thing is that like so much of the public is attuned to Reiki now. Okay. So you know how when you learn Reiki, they tell you that the energy is, it has its own intelligence. It knows where to go, right? You don't have to direct it. It knows where to go. This is like that, or it comes in and it just kind of knows how to clear the system, how to balance the system, how to unify the system. And so that's actually like for all of our work where we were taking months and months and months to like dig deep and look inside and balance and shadow work. I'm not saying that was bad. In fact, that was perfect. We needed to do that. We needed to do that in the level of our conscious mind. But what they're showing me now is something that is literally happening without our need to participate like directly. Okay. We just needed to allow it, which makes sense when all the messages that have come through literally since the day I think that I channeled that information about that energy coming in has asked us to surrender to the energy. And that's what's happening here. It's part of the process. It's something that it's not happening without your consent. You've consented on some level, but it does not require your direct participation. It is happening. You just needed to want it, ask for it, consent to it by being in touch with your core. It's within your core that you would have desired this level of balance. I really avoid talking about, or at least have avoided talking about divine compliments a lot in these videos, because I was directed many months ago to begin to move away from labeling things like that. However, I do feel that this is particularly important for divine compliments because it is assisting in clearing the way there and clearing out the sort of spiderwebby shit that the two of you are in this incarnation to clear out for the collective, if that makes sense. So it's happening on the individual level, but higher than that, it's happening on that level because that is something that you are doing for the collective, if that makes sense. And on the individual level, we're doing all kinds of things for the collective, but if you are a divine complement, it is likely that you are your individual incarnation is serving a purpose on this sort of level of clearing and balancing and anchoring the opposing energies into anchoring that into, what are they trying to tell me, into Gaia? where are they showing me? They're showing me this cloud of like this cloud, this almost like a quilt interwoven. So you're anchoring it for the whole collective, okay? And that's why they want to bring that out, especially that not only is it happening to every single individual, but it is happening on that level as well. And indeed, they're reminding me every person has an important duty to the collective, whatever it is that they have, you know, signed up for in this lifetime. So that's not to, and I think this is why they want to get away from a lot of the labels, is that it's really just another dimension of the same fucking thing. So it's like some people are doing this on an individual level, others are doing this on both individual and sort of a wider level. But whatever, you know what I'm saying. I don't want to waste too much time on that. But the point is that all of us are receiving a deeper level of balancing as we come in greater unity and understanding of our individual energetic signatures and our individual calling. Okay, so the next thing that has just come out is the 8 of Wands with the Judgment. So yeah, I do get the feeling that this kind of energy speeds up considerably. This is usually often my card for energetic, like galactic kind of energy coming in universal energy coming in to kind of break up, bust up that which has been stagnant or like sort of like, it's almost like an effervescence where it like bubbles the crap to the surface. It comes in, it creates a profound healing. And that profound healing is probably, this is that feeling of like upset, of kind of being off balance, maybe a little bit of that jostling of energies, conflicting energies even, but all have their place as they come into unity within you, okay? So they're saying I'm sweating. They're saying not to be overly concerned, that some people are really feeling very much, I'm actually hearing the word desperation. Some people may feel a bit in desperation right now, or maybe feel like really have a lot of depression issues right now, feeling very down deep. And that is just part of this process. And they do want to say you will move through it relatively quickly. We're talking about a week here. So there is a reprieve coming up as long as you are allowing this balancing energy to come in and do its work, essentially. That does not mean that you do play a part in the sense that you will be continuing to receive certain revelations about what needs to change in your life. What you've been doing that isn't helping you, it's going to start coming up. It's just going to feel like, if you're not practiced at being clairaudient or clairvoyant, then it's going to come up and feel almost like it was an idea in your head. It'll come out potentially even in your own mental voice, internal voice. The difference is if it makes you feel, it will make you feel hopeful or good or positive, or it will just feel right in your heart space if it is channeling from a higher place, from your higher self, from source, whatever. If it's your, negative self-talk, it's going to make you feel as shitty as it ever did, all right? So that's how to know the difference. Even when, source is bringing you information that maybe you don't want to hear, it always has that like ring of truth to it. And I think everybody kind of knows what that feels like. It's that ring of truth, even if you don't like what it's saying. That's all coming in quickly. It is bringing a different perspective, I think, to a lot of us, to behaviors that in the past seemed completely normal or maybe justifiable, or maybe we didn't even realize they were symptomatic of essentially suffering, is what they're saying, of our own suffering. So now it's being revealed to us how to end the suffering. That it's as simple in this case as a choice. It's creating. Okay. The cards that just came out are the Son of Wands, which is like the Page of Wands. Ow, massive hand cramp. Massive. Okay. Page of Wands with the Four of Wands showing up here. Again. What is that about? It's an energy moving out of me. I might actually... If any of you are listening to this and you have been feeling incapable of moving through whatever energy you're in right now, hopefully you feel differently now, because they were just showing me that it just channeling out, coming out my hand. So hopefully we moved that on for you. That could just be for one person, but okay. Alrighty then. I do energy healings through these all the time. It's never happened to me, I don't think, unintentionally, where it came through me and out when I didn't ask it. But hopefully that helped one of you or more of you. Okay, so the energy then is really, I'm trying to describe what this is like. It's like you're stepping out of one body and getting into another. It's changing the structure that that we're operating through. That's another message that I keep getting over and over again in these readings, is that the structure we're operating through is changing. Well, what does that mean? I mean, it feels like the mental structure, like the structure of our beliefs and our behaviors and how all that interconnects. But they're also showing me, I saw this on a client like maybe a month or two ago, where she had an energetic structure within her aura, and it actually on her came up like the tree of life, and it was specifically strong around her head. I mean, I'm not going to mention her name, so I'm going to give a few details, but she had a head trauma. And I feel like that is probably happening for everybody right now. Not the head trauma, but the sort of clearing the building of a structure. That's how I'm reading this Four of Wands today. And I do think that it sparks a new, to bring in this feeling of harmony. I'm getting this like a God's eye, when crafters make God's eyes with yarn and sticks. I'm feeling like it creates this new, it's a more harmonious balance within us that we're operating out of. It's like it conducts the energy in a more efficient and free-flowing way. It's all part of this energy that's coming in, this balance that's being created, and I feel like the core self that we're really getting down to is like the glowing nuclear reactor that creates all the energy within us, and that is really being freed to start moving in and out of us, through us, ideally, in a way that it has not yet. So this is a step in the ascension process. And it is creating harmony. It is creating new beginnings with the Son of Wands coming up here. Kundalini, your Kundalini may be moving around with the snake. I have not felt anything out of the ordinary there. Mine always moves, but if you have not yet had that awakening, you might be getting that awakening, or if it has been stuck in any way, it might be breaking free. Because what we're talking about here is removing a lot of blockages to harmonious flow. Okay? And the harmonious flow is what we're aiming for. All right, what else here? Okay, let's get some more info. Let's clarify that. Okay, this is weird. We get the Mother of Pentacles with the Father of Pentacles with the Eight of Cups. Okay. The Eight of Cups traditionally is about being emotionally done with something. And because this is a general reading for the collective. I'm not really feeling this like two individuals. Like normally you would probably read this as a man and a woman. And with this Eight of Cups here, it almost feels like an emotional departure, that, you know, they're sort of realizing on their own terms how the situation is no longer serving them, or how they're not serving their own highest good, their sovereignty is not being honored. It's essentially, with the two of them showing up with this, it's essentially them deciding individually that they are going to be moving in different directions, okay? It could be that. If that resonates with you, it absolutely could be that on that level. But there are many levels, of course, to reading these cards and the energies that come in for them. And I almost feel like this is more of a cooperative energy between your internal halves, your masculine and your feminine half internally, both being on board with, and this could apply also to twin flame / divine complements, where both the masculine and the feminine at this point are both recognizing what it is that they are emotionally done with. Okay, what it is that they are no longer willing to put up with in their lives, much of it being their own shit. Okay, and to be honest, it's all your own shit, because nothing is happening in the external world that your own shit didn't set the tone for, right? That your own shit didn't put out. I keep saying the word. I'm sorry. I should be a little more demure on YouTube, or not. It's your energy, your blockages, your holdups that show you bring it in from the outside. So the outside, the things that are happening outside, point you to the blockages within you. All right. So what I'm saying now is that these are now working in harmony, whether it's within you, whether it's with a divine complement, or whether it's just with a soulmate type partner, where you're deciding mutually either that you are going to separate, or that the thing that you're done with is maybe not each other, but it is a certain huge blockage in your relationship, in your life, within you. This feels a lot like beliefs. This feels a lot like self-talk. You would have come into this lifetime with this particular issue, and it's been so huge that it's kind of taken over your life. It could even come down to a physical illness that manifested for you during this lifetime, okay? And it is one of the major challenges and major karmic hurdles that you are working with. And this is that decision to no longer give it your attention, your emotional attention. Obviously, like, if you have a medical issue, you can't just stop treating it. Like, obviously, you have to give it some sort of attention in that sense. But this is really about changing the way that you emotionally receive something. Are you just done giving it that attention? Are you going to change your perspective on it? Are you going to try a different approach? Whatever it is, okay? This is a more harmonious and a very physical, grounded, and present in the now. I'm getting in the now, they're saying. So it could be that you're getting, just like I was mentioning, I'm getting these messages in the now and acting on them, accepting them, understanding them in the now, as opposed to needing to be hit over the head 25 times before I'm like, oh, that's what you meant. So, Virgos, you probably are getting hit with this really hard right now. I'm Virgo rising, but I'm just looking at these pentacles and these deer, and I'm seeing Virgo. So you may be getting hit really hard with that energy at the moment. For divine compliments, I do want to say to expect that if you are resonating with these messages, expect that if you have had a person who is kind of blocked in their acceptance, maybe they've been hiding themselves, maybe they've been in denial, maybe they have been I want to say refusing to see or something like that, that this person is now on the same page. It doesn't mean they've expressed that to you. It just means that in the now, they're on the same page, that they're kind of getting it. What it is that, they're getting that, that energy within them that they need to clear, regardless of any partnership or anything like that, that they need to clear for themselves. All right. And so that is a really profound movement. It almost echoes these two cards here, that movement and that understanding, that realization, that they're saying second coming almost, the resurrection of the self through removal of obstacles, of blockages. Okay. That's a lot for this week. All right, I'm just going to get one more set of cards here. What is the most important advice, please? What's the most important advice for this week? Okay. I've got the 7 of Swords here, right? 5, 6, 7. Nope, lied. 8 of Swords here. Although I did almost see it as a 7, and I'm actually probably going to read this intuitively because I'm getting messages off the card. And the Star. The Star is the other card to come out. I am feeling this sense of it's time to shine. It's time to let yourself be seen. Sorry, it's backwards, so I think I'm shaking this one. It's this one. Okay, it's time to let yourself be seen. It's time to come out of that cocoon. Out of that, and actually it makes sense with the 8 of Swords. It's all about being mentally stuck, mentally, blocking your own path, creating your own obstacles. It's time to come out of that cocoon and allow yourself to be seen and to shine. But more importantly, to be seen for who you are, for your core, whatever you've been hiding because you've been afraid that, you've been afraid to be vulnerable. You've been afraid to show your gifts, your talents. You've been afraid to show your feelings, whatever it is for you. It is time to shine and to be that authentic person. That's what this is all about. This is cutting straight through that webbing that I was talking about to the authentic person. And so insofar as we have a choice to be that, we need to also make the choice to be that and to come out of the cocoon. Once you come out of the cocoon, you've already changed. You didn't need to make it happen. Whilst you were inside, your body, your energy knew what to do because of the energies coming in and the growth process and just like the way that life happens. You changed and now it's time to shine. Okay? Guys, I hope this was helpful for you this week. It was a little all over the place, but hey, that's what it's like sometimes. So if you find you're interested in a private reading with me, if you'd like me to look into your specific circumstance or do an energy healing, I actually combine everything. I'll open your akashic records and record keepers and source. Tell me what you need and how to accomplish it best with you in every session. So we will do whatever you need, and it's always, it's always interesting, always effective. And you can schedule that on my website, which is IamEmilyGear.com. You can also see lots of different testimonials on my website as well. All right, guys, have a great week, and I am going to get started on doing those zodiac signs now, okay? All right, talk to you guys soon. Bye.